And publishing is, there's just no way to not address this. Publishing is tremendously elitist. It's tremendously white and upper class in the United States, in the UK. And when I wanted to write my nonfiction book in India, I just had editor after editor. They had never been to India or had only been there for their Indian friend's wedding, telling me that I was wrong. I was wrong about everything that I wanted to do in this book, that India was this rising power and this boom. And I said, but that's not what it is like out there, because, and I do write about dark things. I write about climate change, I write about inequality, and I write about injustice, and this cannot be wished away, at least not for me. And so, I had to write this nonfiction book. I had people just turning it down, and there were a slew of books that came out that all had titles like, India Rising, India this, India that, and they were largely written by either Western journalists there for, Western writers there for a short time, or like by very, very elite people. And I went against the grain, and sadly, I would prefer a world where my books have no relevance, but sadly, my book lasts, it's still read, people still talk about it. And the same thing, like, my novel opens with a description of the air quality in Delhi. And of course, when it came out last month and people in New York were reading it, and this includes my friends, and they were texting me saying, we're getting triggered by these descriptions. And I said, but this is the world. There is going to be, I know it's nice out there, but there is going to be a tremendous heat wave. We have had the hottest days in the world. So I do think that for me, maybe it's not for everybody, but I am not in the business of giving false hope or false optimism. I have a commitment I have a position of incredible privilege to be able to write these books, to be able to write them in English, which is not my first language, to be sitting here in Minnesota or in New York. And that is a great position of responsibility for me. And so the truth, so for me, I think the book, and it's fiction. The fiction is different because fiction is more playful. So then there are questions for me of language, and it's not like a straight report at all. It's playful with stories. I am interested in many, many questions, big questions, not just the grim things about climate change, but also the boundaries between body and between genders, between human and animal, between human and nature, between human and AI, And these are perhaps more optimistic things. So for me, storytelling is, in essence, an optimistic act. You don't write. As I said, I write because I'm free, as if I'm free. But I also write because I'm hopeful, ultimately. Otherwise, I would not get out of bed in the morning, right?